ಬೇಡಬಿಡಿ. Hello everyone, welcome to LaExcellence IAS current issue of the day program, that is CID, what we call upon. So every day, for the benefit of the aspirants, whatever we find various articles of the newspaper, that is from Hindu, Indian Express or Deccan Herald. So all these newspapers covers various articles written by various authors. So there are few articles, or majoritively one or two articles which are very important for the examination point of view. Suppose if you look at the analysis of this year's paper, you find there is one question with respect to artificial intelligence and its impact over the health sector in Indian scenario. So with the growing influence of digital infrastructure, or the growing influence of digital technology, we find it is impacting various sectors. And UPSC is keen to understand the aspirants' understanding about the impact what technology can make in various sectors. It shows how aspirants are updated with the contents which are happening in various sectors across the society. So today we are going to discuss a topic which is related to one of the area wherein digital agriculture. So this can be one of the probable question for the upcoming mains examination, and this can be one of the probable essay topic which can be seen in various state service examinations or any other examination wherever you can use this topic. So if you talk about the relevance of the syllabus or relevance of the topic with respect to the syllabus, then you know that agriculture is found under GS paper 3 in the UPSC syllabus. However, for the information of the students from Karnataka, we can see that under Karnataka administrative syllabus or services syllabus also, it is found under GS paper 3. So digital agriculture is one of the developing area which finds a major importance across the world. If you all know that recently the G20 summit was held in New Delhi, and the prime focus during this G20 summit was also about the growth of digital agriculture in the country. Across the world, the digital agriculture is gaining momentum because of various factors. So what are all those factors? We will definitely read in detail. But looking at the importance of the agriculture sector in India, if you look at, so agriculture plays a very huge role with respect to lives and economy of the country. If you look at the major facts, more than 3/5 of the Indian population is still dependent on agriculture. And economically, if you are talking about the importance, 1/5 of the GDP is coming from the agriculture sector. So with more than 3/5 of the population which is still dependent on agriculture, and if you look at the contribution of agriculture to the Indian economy, which is 1/5 of GDP, it shows that agriculture sector has both societal and economic value which we have to take into consideration in order to make it improvise. Only then, on one end, lives of the farmers can be improvised. On the other end, economy can also find its benefit from its growth. Niti Aayog, in one of its report, states that if Indian economy has to grow at the rate of 8 to 10%, then agriculture has to grow at least at the rate of 4%. And only then it is possible that India's GDP will be able to grow at the rate of 8 to 10%. So if we are talking about a scenario where India finds itself in double digit growth, if that has to happen, then automatically agriculture is one of the important area wherein Indian government or India has to particularly work upon to improvise the sector. So if this thing has to happen, the upcoming technologies, like we have recently introduced 5G technology in the country, and the usage of 5G technology in agriculture sector can also boost digital agriculture concept if we are trying to make use of it. So first, let us understand what is digital agriculture. So digital agriculture concept is a bridge between farmers on one end and digital entrepreneurs on the other end. So here, the digital agriculture concept is trying to integrate the farmers on the one end and digital entrepreneurs on the other end. Because under digital entrepreneurs, whatever we are talking about, are the areas where technological revolutions or innovations happen. And unless and until these innovations which are happening digitally are not integrated with the farmers, then automatically or inevitably it will not have any positive impact on the agriculture sector. So this digital agriculture concept itself is talking about bridging this gap between farmers and digital entrepreneurs. And if we are able to achieve this, then whatever challenges we are finding in Indian farmers, those can be encountered, and productivity and income of farmers on the one end and economy of the Indian economy of the country on the other end can be seen growing. So generally speaking, if you look at what are all the problems which we see in Indian farmers, if you look at the problems of farmers in Indian scenario, we find the large number of farmers belong to small or marginal category. So small or marginal farmers or medium farmers, what we call, are someone who have less than 1 acre of land. So having 1 acre of land or having less than 1 acre of land, the major problem that is encountered by the farmers is productivity. So unless there is no increase in the productivity, or unless they have a market influence, because always economy works on supply and demand. So till there is increase in demand or parallelly increase in supply, there will not be the benefit which a farmer can get. So in order to get larger profit or in order to increase, because government on the one hand says doubling farming income. So in order to double the farmer income with the present resources what he has got, the automatic solution is to increase productivity. Only then the farmers who are majorly small and marginal can be benefited. And if that has to happen, automatically we have to find ways and on how to increase the productivity of the land a farmer is holding. So that will be the first problem. On the second front, if you come down, majorly we find the problem of finance. Whenever a farmer has to go for any farming activity, he has to have inputs, that is seeds or farm machinery or any other inputs which are required in order to grow a crop, harvest, then or cultivate, harvest and take it to the market. So in all these three stages, farmer requires a proper infrastructure, and in that infrastructure he needs support of finance, and majority of the times we find farmers being exploited by the middle or middleman or some local financier who will be giving finance at a very high interest rate, because farmers does not have access to a formal financial institution or formal financial credit system, which is the major drawback where farmers are finding financial hardships. So this financial problem has to be solved, and majorly we find formal institutions does not come forward to help farmers because of trust, because even banks and formal institutions have a responsibility of taking repayment of the loan, and in majority of the scenarios we find farmers getting defaulted. So the trust factor between the farmers and the financial institutions is the major reason why the formal credit system could not be expanded to all the farmers of this country. So this is the second challenge which we have to overcome. On the third front, that is uncertainty of crops. Whenever a farmer cultivates his crop, there is a lifetime for that crop to grow and reap the benefit from it. During that lifetime, there are various scenarios wherein due to excessive rain or due to flash floods or due to change in weather pattern or due to increasing climate change problems, we find that the crops of the farmers are getting failed, which increases the uncertainty in the life of the farmers with respect to the income what he is going to get. So with the increasing uncertainty, the interest or the income of the farmer is also getting affected. So he does not have any surety unless and until he will harvest his crop, take it to the market, sell it at the good price, which will help him to get benefit of what he has invested in farming. So these are the areas where generally farmers in today's scenarios are finding major problems. So if the problem has to be sorted out, then automatically we are talking about a solution which is called as digital agriculture. But there is one another problem here which you have to understand. That is, if digital infrastructure or digital agriculture has to be successful, then number one, infrastructure or digital infrastructure has to be set up which is accessible and affordable to the farmers. Unless and until a farmer does not use the solution, he will not benefit what we are trying to solve the problems here. So we might develop an app, we might develop an information system, we might develop a database which will give information to the farmers as per his needs whenever he is going for any farming activity. But if he does not have access, wherein in order to provide an access, a proper digital infrastructure is required. So development of proper digital infrastructure and along with that access and affordability of these infrastructure to the farmers can only be helpful to solve the problems what we are discussing about. So these drawbacks with respect to the digital infrastructure in the country is actually holding back the advantages what a farmer can get in his farming activity. So here the entire theme is talking about changing farming into a concept of smart farming. So here the concept of smart farming has to be understood, wherein if you look at today's scenario, generally in agriculture we follow the traditional practices. We rely upon the information from the local people. We go for various seeds, fertilizers or other inputs from whatever knowledge we have got from our forefathers or our people who are seniors with respect to the farming. But with the increasing technology, there are a lot of avenues or parameters which can be added in order to solve the various problems. For example, if you take smart farming as a concept, wherein with the digital technology or with the app or with the various tools and techniques in order to understand the soil quality, the fertility of the soil or the life of the seeds which we are using or quality of the seeds. So all these things when it is done with the help of digital platform, then automatically it is called as smart farming. And when this smart farming concept is used, the problem of productivity on one end can be solved. How? See, whenever any agriculture activity is taken upon, the information about soil quality, the information about weather, the information about the monsoon, the information about the seeds which has to be used, information about the right quality and quantity of fertilizer will automatically help to increase the productivity of the farmer. And these informations, which are already being tried upon by various platforms, has to be taken to the farmers. For example, there is one agriculture startup called AgriStack. You can find information about AgriStack in your mobile phone, Google also. So AgriStack is one of the platform which is trying to decentralize, or which is trying to take the information to the farmers with respect to various activities he has to take care in order to get better productivity of the crops. A better information about various things will help to improvise the productivity. And smart farming on the other end is trying to solve the problem of finance also. A proper survey of agricultural field, a proper survey of agricultural crop what a farmer is growing will help the institutions in order to understand in what way the farmer is going to be benefited in future, so that he will be able to take the benefit of the farmer institution. Because once an institution is able to understand where the farmer is standing at present, will help to bridge the trust gap which is there between farmer and institutions. So in order to bridge the gap between farmer and the finance institutions, the major parameter is information. And this information or data, if it can be shared between the two parties, then automatically the problem of trust is solved here. On the other end, an information on this end can also help for insurance companies to provide some cushion to the farmers if there is loss of crops due to any uncertainties. So based on the information what is being collected, an insurance company can also process the insurance amount of the farmer due to any uncertainties at the right time. On the other end, even farmer does not have to turn the table around in order to get his share of right in terms of insurance what he is trying to claim. Because many a times, or in movies or in any general life, we see farmers roaming around the doors or knocking around the doors in order to get what they rightfully deserve. So the problem in present society or agriculture scenario is information at the doorsteps for the benefit of the farmer and services at his hands or fingertips, so that he can learn and implement those things in his farming. Only then the problems of the farmers can be solved over a period of time. In this regard, government has started something called Digital Agricultural Mission. So Digital Agricultural Mission was started by Union Government for the period of 2021 to 2025. The major objective of Digital Agricultural Mission by the Union Government is to implement the various technological tools like artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, big data, such other technologies which are getting evolved in the market to be used in order to solve the problems of agriculture sector. So Digital Agriculture Mission is one of the activity or one of the step by the government of India towards smart farming. So whatever agricultural or whatever technological innovations we are finding in the various technological spheres can be used, or how it can be used in order to solve the problems of agriculture. On the other end, we find Digital Horticulture Mission. We see National Agriculture Market NAM, and there are many startups who are trying to solve the problems of the farmers in various sectors of agriculture, that is farming to harvesting to the market linkages. So all these three sectors or all these three areas needs various solutions, and there are many startups which are coming up with various solutions on harvesting, then marketing or creating the marketing linkage, because a farmer is failing in order to develop his skills with respect to selling of his goods at right cost because of influence of majoritively middlemen. Middlemen take the benefit what a farmer rightfully deserves. So this middleman concept has been exploitative always with respect to the farmers. So the increase of, again, the gap which has to be reduced with respect to the linkage between the farmer and the market will automatically increase the income of the farmers. So all these initiatives are with respect to the same thing, increasing farmers' income. On the other end, if you talk about digital agriculture is not finding its real success or ground in Indian scenario. That is because number one, data insufficiency. Whatever data we are trying to collect is duplicate or it is not sufficient enough to analyze the various patterns. On the other end, many of the institutions are working in silos, that is they are working individually. If they can work together in a team, then various elements of the agriculture sector can come together to find a better solution. And third, it is digital infrastructure. So digital agriculture is not able to find its better results or it's not able to reap the benefits of its advantage majorly because of three problems. That is the data insufficiency, entities working individually, that is in silos, and number three, it is digital infrastructure which needs to be strengthened and accessibility and affordability of this digital infrastructure to the farmers has to be increased. Only then the problems or the advantages of digital agriculture can be implemented into agriculture field. So these problems need to be solved. So in the way forward, we can talk that the government has to bring in the policies wherein strengthening of digital infrastructure can be taken up. On the other end, various entities, that is farmers, market, then startups, then various industries which are involved in infrastructure or agriculture sector can come together and work as a team in order to solve the problem of data insufficiency. And number three, if you can help in digital literacy of the farmers. So there has to be a provisions and initiatives which can improvise the digital literacy among the farmers to make use of digital agriculture. Though it is said or felt that what is asked is something too much, but however, if right approach can be applied with respect to the problems what are being found and the implementation of digital agriculture in Indian scenario, then on one end we are talking about increasing the farmers' income, where 3/5 of Indian population is still dependent on agriculture for their livelihood. On the other end, this will, as proposed by Niti Aayog, will definitely help for Indian economic growth. Only then, so in order to make it possible to increase the farmers' income and even Indian economy finding its growth pattern is something which has to be understood and majoritively or major importance has to be given for digital agricultural development in Indian scenario. So across the world, other countries are making advantage of this. However, India, due to various reasons, has been stood behind, but we can work upon this and we can develop a common platform wherein data from various sectors can be integrated, organized, so that any company or startup which is coming up with a solution oriented approach can use that data in order to give a better approach to the farmers in order to improvise their productivity and income at the end. So that will help to revolutionize the lives of 3/5 of Indian population, that is more than 75% of the Indian population which is still residing in rural area, whose life or whose livelihood is still dependent on agriculture, can be improvised. So that will help us to solve a bigger problem. So digital agriculture is very important concept. Please remember this, and if there are any questions with regard to the topic which we have discussed today, you can please post your comments. And if there are any topics which you need us to discuss about, you can also post the topic names which will be taken and will be discussed in detail in the upcoming sessions. So again, we will meet tomorrow at the same time, 5 p.m. in order to discuss new concept wherein you can learn, understand and develop or empower your knowledge with respect to this examination. So till then, take care of your health, study well. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.